I was quite pleased when I read that we have an anti-gravity love scene.
Talk to me a little bit about filming this movie, because it seemed like there was a lot of wire work involved.
I spent a lot of my time acting like this, you know.
Yeah.
So I had a stiff neck for most of the time we were working. And there was a bit of wire work. We sort of had a month's sort of rehearsal period. And within that month, I had to do a lot of wire training and just kind of, it's a lot harder than it looks, actually. Because what you have to try and make it look seamless, you know, so the wires are kind of yanking you up, but you have to look as though you're kind of going up with it. So there was a whole kind of session that we had, and Kirsten obviously is like super pro at any kind of wire training, wire work from her days of Spider-Man. So she kind of helped me through a lot of that stuff.
Now, speaking of Spider-Man, you and Kirsten have a couple of romantic, sort of upside-down scenes. Did you feel like you had to live up to that upside-down Spider-Man kiss at all?
To an extent. I mean, it definitely kind of has a similarity in some respects. Then I was quite pleased when I read that we have an anti-gravity love scene, which I don't believe I have in Spider-Man, so I felt we took it to another level.
So you kind of beat them in that one?
I think so, yeah.
And so did Kirsten give you pointers when you were filming because she was so used to doing all that stuff?
No. We were just giggling ourselves through it, you know, definitely.
So what would you say was the hardest part?
I mean, it was physical. It was a real physical challenge for me. You know, all the wire stuff was quite difficult. I don't know, you know, it was just a lot of fun. I remember just enjoying every kind of moment of it. You know, we worked really long hours and we were doing a lot of 6-day weeks. Because it was an ambitious project for the amount of money that we sort of had, and so everybody was really kind of focused and really wanted to try and make it happen. And it's always really exciting when you get, you know, the crew and all the cast and everybody's really kind of fighting towards the same goal. So I just remember that we just had a really good time.
Now, there's so many different elements in this movie. It's sort of sci-fi, it's sort of fantasy. When people ask you what it's about, if they don't know anything about it, like, how do you explain it to them without going on and on?
To me, it feels like a fairy tale. You know, it almost feels like a fairy tale that I should have been told when I was a kid, kind of growing up, you know? And it's a classic love story. It's the idea of forbidden love that you get in stories such as Romeo and Juliet and West Side Story, you know, where it's two people who have totally fallen in love in a kind of fantastical way, who are trying to overcome every obstacle possible to kind of be together. After
this, what projects do you have coming up?
I just finished doing a film called Electric Slide, which I shot in Los Angeles. It's a true story about a bank robber who's known as the gentleman bank robber. He's a guy called Eddie Dodson who basically was living in Los Angeles in the 1980s, and he ran like a vintage furniture store. And one day he tries his hand at bank robbing and gets away with it. And he actually holds the record for the most amount of banks robbed in the shortest amount of time. So it was fun, you know, it was all 1980s, it looked kind of awesome, and the music in the film will be great. And yeah, it was great fun robbing banks each day.
So that has nothing to do with the actual Electric Slide dance?
I didn't even know there was a dance called Electric Slide. People keep asking me that. I didn't even know there was a dance called
Maybe
Electric
it's an American
Slide.
thing.
Maybe. But no, it has nothing to do with the dance at all. No dancing in that movie.
Now, I wanted to ask you a question about the Les Mis movie has been getting so much attention because they sing, you know, it's all live singing.
Yeah.
Evan Rachel Wood a couple of weeks ago or last week tweeted that she was kind of upset about this because there was so much live singing across the universe, and I was wondering.
Yeah, I didn't know what had been said, but apparently, yeah, they were saying that it's the first time that they've ever done live singing on a musical film, which isn't true, because I mean, yeah, I'd say over 80% of what we did across the universe was live. So yeah, I don't know, you know. Yeah. It was, but I think they may have taken it another step further. I don't know. They were I think they had some musicians that were sort of playing live with the singers at the same time. But for us, we recorded all the music and then we would have it playing in our ear, and so no one else can sort of hear any music except the actor who's doing the singing, you know. So yeah, I mean, we certainly did a lot.
So it was basically the same thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to think that we were the first to do it, but who knows, you know.
And now I know you and Anne Hathaway were in One Day together. Have you had a chance to talk to her after all her awards?
I haven't seen her in a while, you know, so I haven't had a chance to see her or speak to her about it. But no, I'm so proud of her for getting that. That meant a lot to her, I think.